In October 2015, on this very spot at the Orange County Great Park, a solar village will be erected. 16 fully livable, fully functional, solar-powered net zero houses will be built right here. Each one uses different technology, each one serves a different purpose, but they all create all their own energy. You're about to hear some of the most exciting approaches to sustainable living ever dreamed up, straight from the mouths of the collegiate teams that created them.
We are from California Polytechnic State University, San Luis Obispo.
Our concept is making a house that's interactive, intuitive, and integrated, and we really want to accomplish that through both active and passive systems. We don't want to just consume a lot of energy and make up for it with solar. We really want to create a home that uses less energy in the first place.
We're wanting this to be a house that is built for people who want to be engaged with the home that they're living in. They want to understand it. They want to be able to operate it. They not only want a sustainable home, but they want a home that they feel like they're sort of playing a role in living in that home.
Something that we've had to tack onto was this idea of what does it mean to live in a house, and how can you change your habits, and particularly with 1,000 square feet, you have to make the most of every inch of the space. So what you're seeing our team do, and a lot of other teams do, is really try and meld the home environment with the outside. So we've been even thinking of minimizing or doing away with as much of the TV and creating the living room space that really interacts with an outdoor bifacial room, so you can really interact with that.
We've really tried to focus around student learning and involvement, and a likely place for the house to be after the competition is back on campus, and really incorporating and continuing to keep student involvement and a really great learning opportunity for the university and other students as well.
Our university's motto is learn by doing, so of course this project is a wonderful thing for us. Even after the competition's over, the house will live on.
Go Mustangs!
We're from Clemson University in South Carolina.
The name of our house is Indigo Pine, and we got that title from two historic crops from South Carolina, and we're sort of using that to tie into our rich past and looking forward to our contemporary future.
I think our team is all about a family. Clemson itself has the Clemson family. It's just a culture that we have at our university, and we're sort of tapping into that. All of our kids in the architecture department, all of the kids in the engineering, packaging science, communication, everything that encompasses the project is all about this Indigo Pine family.
Our house is going to be all built from wood, and we actually created a very unique structural system.
And it's something that anyone of any size, her or myself, we can move these pieces, we can put them together, and there's no nailing, there's no mechanical fastening, it's just metal zip ties.
Our house requires no heavy machinery, no oversized equipment. It's all man-powered construction.
The home itself is designed for a southern family of 4. The home features a 3-bedroom space, which is a little bit different than a lot of the other homes that have been in the competition in the past.
A big feature of having the house really portray that southern ideal is the idea of having this big front porch that we can all go out on, enjoy, talk, and drink our sweet tea together.
Team Clemson!
We're from Crowder College, Drury University. Our house is called Shelter Cubed. It's a 3-tiered design concept. It's built to respond, recover, and resist, mostly towards tornadoes. We're from Tornado Alley. Our neighboring town, Joplin, Missouri, was actually destroyed by the costliest tornado in U.S. history. Students from both of our schools volunteered a lot of time to help in those recovery efforts. We saw a lot of need firsthand, and when this project came around, a lot of our architects and engineers were thinking, well, how great would it be if we could work on a solution for those storm situations?
The ideal sort of setting for our house would be for a family that's lost their home in a disaster. They're looking to recover, rebuild their life sort of after this tragic events happen to them. So immediately they get shelter, they get power, they get a way to sort of get back on their feet right away instead of having to look for a hotel, looking to move to live with family. And then when that next tornado comes, our home is impact resistant. It's tornado resistant. So you don't have to start the process over again. You're safe in your home and you have that peace of mind.
One of the simple concepts that they showed me that it was so simple, but I thought it made so much sense, is they're just adding threaded rods in the walls that just connect the ceiling to the floor. One of the things that happens in a tornado is that the wind actually comes in through the broken windows and starts pushing upwards on the roof, and then that outside wind then peels it off, and then the whole thing just falls apart.
We did a lot of research, obviously, going into this, and that's one of the easiest fixes you can do in your home to prevent that happening.
Let's build shelter cubes!
We are the University of Florida, National University of Singapore, and Santa Fe College.
The name is Solar Living House. So that says a lot about what we're trying to do, making livability a big priority, both the spatial organization, really thinking about our target audience as a median Florida family of average means, thinking about how we can design a home, not just a house for research that's not very interpersonal or things like that. So we thought a lot about life cycle cost, how to design a home that really grows with the family and really adjust to different seasons of life.
So we really wanted to make a house that is not this like foreign thing with all this technology, but it's really approachable.
We actually already have a client. Since we are partnering with Alachua Habitat for Humanity, we have an elderly couple that we're building the house for. So we're building it kind of along the competition guidelines at first, and then once we bring it back to Gainesville, we'll be adding on another bedroom module and bathroom module.
Team Florida Singapore.
We are Western New England University of Massachusetts, Unitec of Honduras, and Technological University of Panama.
The name of our house is EASY. It stands for Efficient, Affordable Solar Innovation. So we're trying to bring the classic New England home into the future with incorporating all the solar panels and the high-tech technology.
There aren't a lot of charging stations for renewable energy sources, not a lot of electric cars up there, no ports for them to charge up. So it's like sort of a stigma up in the New England area where there's not a lot of renewable energies, and we're hoping to sort of like change that.
Being in New England, very cold temperatures, so these heat recovery systems are going to not waste these resources that we're using. So the more that we can do that, the less costly it will be to maintain our house. Our home automation system is just designed to give you everything as a homeowner, from security to comfort. We're going to have interactive displays so that the user can see and track their progress on how they're saving energy, how they're reducing their water and their energy consumption, and just be more green-minded, really.
Team
Massachusetts.
Central
America.
Woo!
Our design for the 2015 Solar Decathlon is the Nest Home, which is designed for a growing family. So our primary structure is actually 3 refurbished shipping containers that are arranged around a central gathering space that really keeps an open floor plan, unlike the restricted feeling you get in a lot of traditional container homes. So we also try to incorporate a lot of refurbished materials, such as we're using shipping pallets as our wood siding. We're using recycled blue jeans as insulation. We have a gray water system that recycles water from the laundry, shower, and bathroom sink to feed a hydroponic garden that will actually feed the family. We actually designed the house for California. So the angle of the solar panels to, focus on fresh food. And we know that in California there is a big emphasis on solar power and renewable energy. So we designed our house to suit a growing family. The way our containers are arranged, you can really expand the house, and so it can grow with the family. Everything from, a full nest to an empty nest.
We are the Nest Home. Rise with us.
We are Team New York City Tech.
City Tech is one of the most diverse schools within the country, I believe were the statistics. And we're located in New York City, which is diversity. And just looking at our team, we're from different places throughout the world. the majority of us speak a different language other than English at home. In our design, we were thinking of a young urban couple, maybe hoping to expand.
So all of our rooms can change. It varies upon your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be set for one family.
We've thought about Red Hook as an ideal site for the house. Red Hook was devastated by Hurricane Sandy, and there have been a lot of new initiatives to make sure that that area is going to be rebuilt and in a way that we won't have that issue again with further inundation.
The options that we have, if this is a single home, like a single dwelling on a corner lot, is going to be put up on stilts, so the water will be able to go through easily without obstructing the architecture.
One of the most innovative technologies that we have actually is the way that we have set up our solar panels to be in a vertical solar wall. So to look at it from the standpoint of an urban setting, we have it as a piece of the facade of the house. So when you walk up to it, you actually see the solar panels, you see the active systems that are in the house.
Go Durham!
We are Team Solar Nest at Sacramento State. Our house is called the Reflect Home. When I look at our design, I see elegance, just beauty, and yet simplicity, and I feel that it really encapsulates the spirit of Sacramento.
It's built mainly to attract young families looking to purchase a house. These are families who usually work in the central city. They're looking at neighborhoods that surround the central city.
Everyone typically thinks of solar panels as just a big sheet you put on the roof, or you can maybe make an overhang. The technology is now they're incorporating solar panels into windows, and we're using that technology in a railing around the deck and as a skylight over the patio. You get light through as a skylight, but you're also generating electricity at the same time. So you could have a skyscraper, and they could just use all those windows, and you could have a net zero skyscraper.
Team Solar Nest!
We are Sure House, which is a sustainable plus resilient prototype for coastal housing. We have a lot of engineers on the team, but we have a really strong mixture of architecture and engineering and a bunch of different types of engineers. So I would say, yeah, diverse, well-rounded.
So this home is ideal for locations that are susceptible to rising tides. So not only on a shoreline, but maybe an area located next to a lake or another body of water.
The ways we're doing that, we're having the exterior be flood-proof, because the whole point is we want to build a house that can stay close to the ground, because after Sandy, they started making people rebuild their houses like 7 feet, 10 feet off the ground. So we're trying to make a prototype for a home that can stay, 1 foot off the ground. And the way we're doing that is having a flood-proof exterior, and we're using fiberglass composites from the boating industry to actually make it like a boat hull. And we have these big flood shutters that shut down over the expensive southern windows. And actually on those shutters we have solar panels that are DC solar panels that can basically work if the grid goes down, so they can provide emergency power during like a storm situation. So that basically we want this house to act as like a community hub during the power outage and after a big storm.
Sure!
We are the Alfred State College of Technology and Alfred University. We wanted to incorporate a lot of lighting, openness. We have one of the top lots, so there's a big open view, which was one of our main focuses, and we kind of wanted to have a gathering space. So we have the large porch, a lot of fenestration, vegetation. That was one of our main things, is incorporating light and kind of that open, airy feel, so it's not so dense and enclosed, but also incorporate the panels, shading, and all the necessities.
We wanted to have, especially like the dining, living, and kitchen things connected.
So we have exposed ductwork and trusses and structural members, so we kind of wanted to give it that feel. And it's not so much materials, so it does have that more of open.
And people also learn, like when they come in the house, they're going to see those mechanical systems and the structural things. Just understand how the house was built.
Residents of like a small family of 4. Yep. So it'd kind of be like a rural Western New York type of family.
We are Team Alfred!
We are Team Orange County.
UC Irvine
Chapman University, Irvine Valley College, and Saddleback College. Working with community colleges lets people of all different backgrounds, returning students, students who are younger, perhaps it inspires them to stay within the STEM education track. It also helps us, and it's actually to our benefit, because there's a lower barrier to entry. So if people want to come and get involved, they can enroll in the community college and then join our team.
So the name of our house is Casa del Sol. And because we are from Orange County, Spanish is a very dominant language in our area.
This house is specifically built for the Irvine, California area. The most prominent feature, I'd say, or the one that I'd be most excited about, is our studio unit, which is a separate little unit next to the main home, which could be used for what we're calling the boomerang generation, which is college students who went off to a four-year university or any sort of college and just don't have the means to live on their own, so they have to come back to their parents, and like a boomerang, they return. And so this is a great option for multi-generational families to bring back their kids, but have them in like their own private sort of little space.
We also have a use of solar thermal in our domestic hot water system that preheats hot water, providing this hot water T-tap essentially in the kitchen next to your main faucet.
We have a stormwater collection system that would collect rainwater from the roof and store it for earthquake preparedness. Also in California, another problem in California.
Let's go Team Orange County!
We're from University of Texas at Austin and the Technical University in Munich.
Our house is Nexus House. The unique thing about our house is that it's going to provide as a model for a prototype for accessory dwelling units in Austin.
The ideal setting for our house is going to be in sort of an existing neighborhood fabric in Austin that already has an established character and sort of culture to it. We're trying to design a house that can plug into something that exists so we can double density without changing the sort of feeling of a neighborhood.
We're trying to design a self-sustaining house that you can grow your own food and collect your own rainwater to use within the house.
We've designed the first ever that we're aware of on the single family home scale, thermal storage, like district cooling kind of system for an individual house. And so the way that's designed to work is we have this 12 to 15 foot water tower that we cool down at night. We use electricity at night to cool down our water, and then during the day we run the AC off of the cooled water that we pipe through the house. The great part about that is, from an affordability perspective, we have solar panels on the house, and during the afternoon that's when you're generating the most electricity. So we're able to sell that back when we're generating the most and use the cooled water at night to run the air conditioning. We're also going for a net zero water house. Like that's the reason we have the thermal storage. We're collecting all the rainwater. We have this under deck water system that's purifying and filtering into the plants and all kinds of things. And we are also generating food from the water that we've treated.
We are Team Texas Germany, and we're building the Nexus House. Prost!
We're University at Buffalo, State University at New York.
The name of the house is the Grow Home. What makes it unique is our take on sustainability is a lot more broad than just solar power. We're going for total self-sufficiency, so looking at Buffalo and its prominent presence of urban gardening, we're taking that to heart, and we're designing actually the conceptual and physical heart of the home is actually part greenhouse and part solarium, where it can become a flexible living environment or growing environment depending on the needs of the climate and the user.
The demographic, I would say, would mainly be a young couple that would be using this house. I'd say it would have room for like an expansion for maybe a child, but it's mostly a small family house.
One thing people could take home is that they can start to grow their own vegetables year-round regardless of the climate.
It's important for the future, really, because we have to start thinking about sustainable energy, efficient use of energy. We have to start thinking about making homes more insulated and all these different sustainable ways of thinking. And the competition itself lends itself to that movement, because now you can start thinking about the different ways you can do it, not just one standard cookie cutter way, but it can be really design friendly and very cool at the same time.
What we're really promoting is more than just solar power. You can learn a lot about solar power from the house, but it's a lot more than just that, about how to grow vegetables for your family and Start to rely on your own processes that you can do at home as opposed to relying on large-scale, super energy consumption processes that might happen on a much larger scale outside.
Let's go, Buffalo!
We are Team Aggie Soul. The theme of the house is really to encourage community living because our target audience is really farm workers, agricultural workers, and they tend to live sometimes with individuals that they may or may not know. So we want to encourage them to have a communal space that opens up to the outside and just a relaxing environment and for them to come home to after a long day of work.
For the competition, we've aimed the house to be agricultural farm working housing. However, after the competition, we're aiming for this to be low-income housing for the masses. So for the competition, the market would be, of course, agricultural. However, after the competition, this is generally meant to be available for the masses of California and America.
We don't want people to have to make a choice anymore between sustainable living and affordable living. We want it to be, one and the same.
That would be great if we just educate public, not only all ages, specifically kids in the early ages, to learn about ZNE energy and affordable house, and that can affect their future. And then maybe some of them in the future want to pursue and then dedicate their future to be an architect, engineer, and then we can make a culture actually.
In terms of the opportunities available to collegiate students, this is by far the largest in scope. This is also by far the one that gives the most responsibility and opportunity to the students. Very rarely can a student come out and say that they developed a project that involved construction, architecture, engineering, all combined. So this is a fantastic opportunity for all students.
Go Aggies!
We're Team West Virginia University and University of Rome Tor Vergata. Our House of Name and Style stands for Sustainable Technologies Integrated in a Learning Experience. I think the biggest unique part about our house is our partnership with UTV, sort of trying to blend the Appalachian culture with Italian Roman style, putting it all into one house and making it look really well.
I'm most excited about the home automation system that we have integrating that will be able to show you how much you're using, like in kilowatt hours, and show you like what it costs per kilowatt hour and how you can change that amount. And by seeing that number on a screen, I think that people will realize like, wow, if I just turned off this light, I can save like 10 cents in this amount of time, and it'll add up. If they eventually see that on a screen in front of them, they will know that, oh, I can just flip that light off and it'll work. And it saves money, it saves time, it saves a lot of energy.
We directly interact with the sponsors, so that's really good. And we learn a lot. We do a lot of practical stuff here that we don't used to do in Italy, for example. So we study a lot theory, but we don't direct work with the company. So that's pretty interesting.
In the classroom, you're really just about the bookwork, and doing this competition, we're going to build the house ourselves. So that's a lot of hands-on experience that we won't get in the classroom.
The whole reason I decided to become electrical engineering was because of the last solar decathlon competition. I got to install the solar panels, and for me that was a really great experience and something I definitely am interested in. So I decided to major in that and work towards that. Let's go
Mountaineers and Rome!
We're from Yale University.
All right, our house is the Y house, and I think what makes it unique is we're sort of challenging the idea of the German passive house approach, and opening up the house, both socially and climactically. So it works both with the engineering part and sort of the architecture social mission of the house.
A large part of our design came with engaging with the public, so we have this large ramp to make sure that our house isn't just connected to the public through this small little sliver that you have to like wind up, but rather this large engagement. So to us, it's very important to be connected and sort of be part of the larger sort of scheme of things.
I think personally, I've been reading about this competition since I was like 12, 14, and it's great to finally be in it. I think it's also great that this competition achieves so much educational outreach. So I think it's a great chance for students of all ages to come and see it for themselves.
You're looking at the world of tomorrow, not just in the house concepts, but also these are the students who are going to be building these houses for real one day. So you could say this is the rough draft of what you're going to see 10, 20 years from now.
Robert and I were doing an energy analysis, and some of these things are ahead of current industry practice. And it's really exciting to hear that because we're learning it for the first time, but at the same time, we're one of the first few people doing it and applying to a house at this stage in the design process. Most of it revolves around using building information modeling and different types of calculators to ensure that our house meets energy zero standards right now, even before a single brick is laid, a single piece of lumber makes it to the construction site. And surprisingly enough, that's not always industry practice.
We're Team Yale! Bula bula!
The Solar Decathlon 2015. Coming back to Irvine in October for 2 public weekends, October 8th through the 11th and October 15th through the 18th, 2015 at the Great Park. Make sure you come see the technology of the future available today.